Good evening and welcome to the second Cavaliers game preview of the 2016 season. Tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers will look to bounce back from their first loss of the season in the nation's capital against the Washington Wizards. Before we get into tonight's preview, let's take a look at how these two teams got the records they have going into tonight's matchup at the Verizon Center. Cleveland comes in with a record of 6-1. On October 25th, on ring night, they got a win against the New York Knicks, 117-88. October 28th, the Cavaliers went into Air Canada Center in Toronto and got by with a 3-point win, 94-91. The next night, back at the Q, the Cavaliers got by the Orlando Magic, 105-99. And then, on November 1st, the Cavaliers barely got by the Houston Rockets, 128-120 at the Q. And then, November 3rd, against Boston, the Cavaliers won at the Q, 128-122. That was my first game preview of the season. November 5th, the Cavaliers went into Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia and came out with a 1-point win, 102-101. And then, on November 7th, at the Q, the Cavaliers fell to the Atlanta Hawks, 110-106. Meanwhile, for Washington, they come in with a record of 2-5. October 27th, the Wizards fell in Atlanta 114-99. 3 days later, on October 30th, the Wizards fell at Memphis 112-103 in overtime. November 2nd, the Wizards fell to the Raptors in their home opener 113-103. They got their first win on November 4th versus the Atlanta Hawks, getting by with a 3-point win, 95-92. But they couldn't put back-to-back wins together, as on November 5th, they fell at the Orlando Magic 88-86. And then, on November 7th, the Houston Rockets came into Verizon Center and defeated the Wizards 114-106. And then, in their most recent game, the Wizards defeated the Boston Celtics 118-93. That was on November 9th. So the Wizards are 2-5, Cleveland 6-1. Let's get into the game preview. Tonight at the Verizon Center, the Cavaliers and Wizards will meet in the first of a 3-game season series. 2 in Washington, 1 in Cleveland. Tonight is the first game in Washington. The second time will be February 6th back at the Verizon Center in Washington. The final time will be in Cleveland at the Q on March 25th. Last season, the two teams split the season series 2 games apiece, with each team winning a game on the other's home court. But Cleveland has a playoff advantage in this matchup. They swept Washington in the first round of the 2007 NBA playoffs, and then they beat the Wizards in 6 games in the first round of the 2008 NBA playoffs. But, just like the Celtics, the Wizards always seem to play Cleveland tough, and I don't expect that to change. The Cavs made some moves in the offseason. Most importantly, re-signing J.R. Smith, also signing Mike Dunleavy and Chris Anderson. They also got Kay Felder. Washington, meanwhile, made a coaching change. They fired Randy Whitman, hiring former OKC coach Scott Brooks. And they signed former Cavalier and former Denver Nugget and former Sacramento King and former Portland Trailblazer J.J. Hickson. But Washington did not have any picks in this year's draft. The key matchup tonight will once again be at the point guard spot between the Cavaliers' Kyrie Irving and the Wizards' John Wall. John Wall is an extremely athletic and can dunk the ball with power, but he is also crafty and can get the tough layup or find his teammates so they can get their shots. This season, Wall is averaging about 21 points per game and 9 assists per game. In his last game against the Celtics, he had 19 points and 7 assists. He also has a fantastic dice-shaped aquarium, which was built by Brett Raymer and Wade King from Animal Planet's Tanked. Check it out. It's Vegas themed. Kyrie Irving, meanwhile, is great at making the tough layup and the creative ones as well. He is also responsible for the clutch, and I mean clutch, three-point shot that gave Cleveland its first NBA championship. This season, Kyrie is averaging about 24 points per game and 4 assists per game. In the loss against Atlanta, he had 29 points and 4 assists. Another key matchup will be at the small forward position between LeBron James and Otto Porter. Otto Porter has really started to find his mark for the Wizards this season, averaging about 8 points per game and about 8 rebounds per game. But Porter has a very difficult matchup tonight against the King, LeBron James. LeBron's just the best NBA player in the NBA right now, so we'll have to see how Porter does. LeBron is averaging 22.9 points per game, so you round that up to about 23, and about 10 assists per game. It will be a battle of the backcourts tonight as two of the top backcourts in the East square off. Washington has John Wall and Bradley Beal, but Bradley Beal will not be playing tonight, so that means Marcus Thornton will start. But he is a fantastic shooter, so do not underestimate him. Meanwhile, Cleveland has Kyrie and J.R. Smith. Both are great at getting to the rim. Kyrie will find JR for the easy shot. I expect this game to be a very competitive game tonight, as they usually are between these two teams. Washington's next game is Sunday at the United Center, where they will face the Chicago Bulls, while Cleveland's next game is also Sunday at the Q, where they will take on the Charlotte Hornets. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again Sunday when the Charlotte Hornets come to the Q.